shots. Roll out.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Film Pundits. My name is Adam Lavick, and tonight, right now,
it's late, you guys.
it's late. It's 2 in the morning, and we are about to review Transformers: Age of Extinction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm joined here by Mr. Augustine Rios and Mr. Hector Navarro. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Not good, Adam.
No, actually not well. Yeah, he's correct.
So,
Can you ask us why we're not well?
Well, let's get to that. So, we just walked out of Transformers like less than an hour ago. And I think we all equally went into with fairly low expectations.
True. Well, I have to correct you. We didn't walk out. We did stay for the entire thing. You're making it sound like I kind of wish we walked out. We stayed for the whole thing. But you're right. I feel like our expectations were, God, we hope this is better than the third one and maybe the second one, right?
That's what I thoroughly expected to be impressed by this one, because after the third one I said, you cannot get any worse than this. How is it possible? But Michael Bay proved us kind of wrong. A little bit, a lot of bit wrong, actually.
Yeah, it was. Well, let's hear your guys' first. Augustine, let's start with, or Hector or Augustine, whichever one. Just general thoughts of the movie overall. Just general thoughts before we go into details. And just so you guys know, there are going to be spoilers in here, because there really is no way to talk about this without mentioning spoilers.
If you don't want to see spoilers, cut it off.
Yeah.
Don't go any further than this.
Yeah. So,
like a little tense. You're welcome, but just cut it off.
Big
now.
warning. So,
all right.
Augustine,
So my first impression of this movie was that it was completely disjointed. First of all, I had a really, really tough time following exactly what was going on. It was jumping around from scene to scene. There was parts that just scenes that were literally right next to each other that just did not make sense why they were flowing into each other the way they were. And that was my biggest issue. And I thought I was the only one, but apparently it's not. I talked to Adam right after, and he said he was having a hard time following this movie as well. It looked like things were just happening to happen. There was no motive. There was no rhyme or reason. Everything was just happening because Michael Bay said it was going to happen, essentially. That's just a quick synopsis. There's a lot more, but
The worst thing about this movie is all of the people in the crowded theater that were laughing and they clapped at the end. That's the worst thing about this movie. No, quick synopsis or my thoughts on it. I very much did not like it, and it's a bummer because people don't give a shit about Optimus Prime, and I love him. The best Transformers thing ever made is the cartoon show Transformers Prime, and all of it is on Netflix, and watch it, and it's amazing. And people that don't watch cartoons, I'm sorry, then you're missing out. If you're going to be prejudiced because it's a cartoon and you think it's for kids, then you're missing out, because it's so good. And so I will argue, if I ever meet Michael Bay, I will argue to his face, like, you're throwing away a great character and a bunch of other great characters, all the robots, and maybe some interesting human characters, but any of that was good.
nothing was good. Well, nothing was good. What do you think, Adam?
It was boring enough that I almost started falling asleep through some of it, and it just it dragged on for so long. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes, and it feels like you're watching 2 Lord of the Rings movies together in one. It's just ridiculously long.
Not good ones. Like 2 Lord of the Rings movies back to back. Those are good movies. You can't.
Yeah, and like the other thing that drove me completely nuts was the fact that it was exposition, big explosion. Exposition, big explosion. Chasing someone, exposition, explosion.
Things were on fire that should not have been on fire.
Yeah.
My favorite explosion moment, Augie pointed this out, towards the beginning of the movie, when there's no robots yet and there's no explosions yet, a character drives up to Mark Wahlberg's farm, and then when they drive away, they drive through his like wooden gate, and there's a little tiny explosion. Yeah. And Augie pointed it out, and I was like, this is the rest of the movie, dude. Yeah. Explosion City.
They drove through a barbed wire fence. I don't know if there's anything less explosive than a barbed wire fence, unless there's a landmine attached to it in World War II.
Yeah, and I think the other big problem with the movie is you just don't care about anybody in this movie.
No,
not one person. Not. If even if Mark Wahlberg would have died, you're so disconnected from every character. Every single Transformer, you're completely disconnected from all of them. you don't care about anyone, and it's a shame because this is supposed to be a reboot of sorts. You know, it's 5 years later after the Battle of Chicago, but you just.
I don't want to see a part 2 of this. I don't want to see a part 2 or a part 3. I want there to be a new Mark Wahlberg Transformers trilogy. No matter how good of a job he did, he was great. He did the best he could. But like the characters I don't care about. At least I cared about Sam Witwicky and Shia LaBeouf. And people like to rag on Shia LaBeouf, but he did a good job in those movies. He did. He was made to look like a fool. He did great physical comedy. He was like funny and interesting and fast paced and stuff. And he did the action well. But like at least his character was like easy to get behind in that first movie. He's loved a girl since he was 8 years old. It's as simple as that. He wants a car. And then he gets, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't care about Mark Wahlberg's character's motivations. Even halfway through the movie, he's like, I did it for the money. I did it for the money. Honestly, that's why I did it. That's why I helped you, Optimus. I'm terrible. I'm a bad father. And you're just like, why am I don't care about him. I don't care about a stinking hot daughter. I don't care about her awful boyfriend who was a jerk.
Yeah.
I don't care about Stanley Tucci no matter how funny he was. And I love me some Stanley Tucci. Like, exactly. So all the humans, like, you don't care about them. And then when you have a Transformer voiced by John Goodman, you're like, this is going to be gold. No, you don't care about it. He's a jerk. Optimus Prime is a jerk. Bumblebee was a little brat. Like,
that leads me to one of my biggest points that I really didn't like was that I didn't feel any connect between the Autobots within themselves as a group. At the end of the movie, Optimus talks about how, take care of my family, blah, 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 referring to the Autobots. They were jerks to each other the entire time. They were constantly fighting. They were pointing guns at each other. They, at one point, if they would have blown each other's heads off, I would have been like, oh, well, they're jerks. That's what they do.
I honestly couldn't tell. There was at points where the Autobots are fighting, and I was confused as to if one of the Autobots was the Decepticon or what was happening. It was just so damn confusing.
That's the reason why in the first movie they gave Optimus Prime his flame paint job that everybody hated for some reason, but I was like, it's fine. And that's why they made Bumblebee all yellow, so that it was whenever robots were fighting, you would be able to distinguish. And now we get to the fourth movie, and it doesn't even matter. Like, even though they're all brightly colored and they're fighting the pink robots, which are the bad robots, and the green robot's a good robot, it's just carnage. And it, like, carnage, get it? Because they're cars.
Womp, 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 womp.
This movie made me unfunny, you guys. It sucked away all my funny. The way that this movie and the last movie and the movie before it and the movie before it, with very few exceptions, there's literally one character I can think of in this movie that's a non-white character that was just like a straight, regular character, played straight. But the views of non-white people, minorities, and women is pretty terrible. It's pretty abysmal, to the point where at one point when they're in China, one Chinese guy, when they're like, China's getting devastated, this one Chinese guy runs across the rooftop and he says, like, we have to call the Chinese government. And he said it with like that accent, like not an over-the-top Chinese accent. And I literally turned to Augie and I was like, that's almost commendable at this point. Like that should be an award to Michael Bay and this movie that, like, here you go. Here's your award for not giving an Asian dude a thick accent. By the way, did we mention that the samurai robot was voiced by Ken Watanabe? So that's kind of what we're dealing with.
Yeah, I think the big thing too is, like, if this is supposed to be a reboot, why do you give it to the same director?
Yeah, bring in a different writer.
They should have brought in a different writer, different director. Someone I was looking online. Someone was mentioning like a Matthew Vaughn or a Duncan Jones or a Neil Blomkamp, like guys like that who would they would take Transformers, and I feel like they would pay homage to the '80s version of Transformers, modernize it, but not make it so over the top, not make it such a caricature of itself.
Yeah, this was gratuitous VFX and explosions for VFX and explosions' sake, essentially.
Yeah,
that's what it was for, just to show you cool stuff and robots blowing up.
I think you just convinced me that Michael Bay should retire and just become like a stunt guy, like, because he's really good at practical stunts. He should just become like Stuntman Mike. He should become like the second unit director, like the guy who on a real movie does all the special effects shots and all the practical, you know what I mean? Like, while a real director will go direct the actors doing the real scenes. I have not disliked the movie this much in such a long time, and I'm usually super positive, you guys. Don't I love everything?
Yeah, you
honestly,
do.
Hector, honestly,
everything
he
approves
watches,
everything.
he super approves it.
I love the new Spider-Man movie. Like, I love the new Spider-Man movie.
Well, let's not get into
we'll
that
have
topic.
we'll have a segment where Hector will super approve lists and things.
But you know what's crazy though is, yes, Michael Bay is very hit and miss. Pain and Gain, funny movie. I have not seen the entire movie, but I've seen like bits and pieces of it. And I didn't watch it purposely because I said, well, Transformers was terrible. This is going to be just as bad. I watched it. I was like, this is actually, I like these bits. I'll go back and watch the whole movie.
I didn't watch that.
Armageddon, yes, it has its faults, but
That's Hector
come on.
Super approved.
That
That's
movie
Hector
is
Super
a guilty
approved.
pleasure.
It's good, dude. That movie's awesome.
It's like how I felt about the first Transformers. Even though it's not great, it's still so good. Bad Boys, both those movies, I love those.
Yeah,
if
Bad
Michael
Boys
Bay
is
went
good.
back to make Bad Boys movies or something like Pain and Gain, original content, like he's better at making original content than adapting stuff.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
leave the 80s alone
Was that
and make original content.
was that a reference to the Ninja Turtles movie that's about to come out? Is that what you're talking about?
Jesus.
Because I couldn't agree with you more, man. I feel like no matter how good somebody pitches an idea to Michael Bay, he's not going to give a shit, and he's going to do whatever he wants. And if he thinks it's stupid, because I'm sure he thinks Optimus Prime is stupid, he's going to make him look stupid. I'm sure he thinks the Ninja Turtles are stupid because they sound stupid on paper. And I believe that maybe there are people that worked on the Ninja Turtles that are, at the Viacom company, Paramount, Nickelodeon, whatever, and they're coming to Michael Bay and they're like, look, this is what the Ninja Turtles are. And he's like, it's stupid. I'm going to do this. So, like, I don't want to blame whoever didn't pitch it to him accurately. I want to just blame Mr. Bay because he's got the final say and it's his style and he kind of does whatever he wants.
And we are aware that he's not directing it, he's producing it, but producers have a lot of
dude,
say, especially when you're the one who owns the
We
production
just saw
company
the
that makes
trailer.
it.
We just saw the trailer, and it did not say the director's name anywhere. It said from producer Michael
Exactly.
Bay. So
Just
that's
like every single Michael Bay TV show.
that's what we're allowed to.
Yeah.
That's what we're allowed to kind of say that. And don't worry, look forward to our Ninja Turtles review when that movie comes out.
Next month.
We're gonna have
or in
a real
August.
good time watching
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. And just closing my thoughts too, just to kind of round this out. This movie to me was just a display of Michael Bay not giving a crap about what he puts out anymore, and that is why that's what made me dislike this, because you can see that in the characters acting.
Yeah.
You can feel it in everything. I don't care about the characters because he doesn't care about the characters. I don't care about this movie because he just wants to put your ass in the seat and get your money. He's counting his money right now, laughing at all of us, laughing because we're so pissed because he doesn't give a shit, essentially.
Because he made a terrible movie, but he's still super rich, and he's probably sleeping with a supermodel right now, and we're very poor, and we're sitting at a desk right now. And we're upset about it. And we're like, why did we see this
We
movie?
want our
Like,
$17 back
17.
now.
He's like, $17? I just pooped that. That's what Michael Bay said. I can't even. And I love story and characters. And even if those two things are bad in a movie, if the movie is fun and has like cool special effects, but that didn't even happen in this movie. Like, no good thing about it. I can't think of anything other than I kind of perfected my Mark Wahlberg impression after watching this movie. That's it.
So,
What are your closing thoughts?
closing thoughts. I mean, I'm pretty much in agreement with you guys. I think it was a lost opportunity. I think they should have brought in a new director, a new writer. They should have just started fresh, redesigned the Autobots and the Decepticons, made a story that made more sense, that wasn't so disjointed and was fun. You could have still had big explosions and all that kind of stuff, but you could have made a much better movie. But
Agreed.
before we go, how would you guys rank your Transformer movies from favorite to least favorite?
Oh, well, Hector's favorite thing is to make lists, so let's
Exactly.
start with Hector.
Real quick. I'll start from the bottom. The worst one is Transformers Age of Extinction, the one we just saw. It was the worst movie. The next one is the third one, Transformers Dark of the Moon was the name of it. I think it was worse than the second one, and I have specific reasons why. So just ask me about it, and I'll explain it to you, because I don't feel like talking about it right now. But trust me, I have very specific reasons. Then I think the second movie would be the second movie. That's my ranking. So it's like literally just 4, 3, 2, 1. I think the first movie is the best one. I think the second movie is next, the second best, honestly, just because it still has Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox. And even though their characters are whatever, it at least felt like a continuation of the story, and like it was kind of going somewhere with something. You know, it was about Sam moving off to college. Like, it was kind of about something. And then by the time you get to the third and fourth movie, they're whatever. Go.
My list is going to be just a little bit different from yours. Bottom of my list is going to be Transformers 2. Yeah. I did not like that one because of two words, and I told you guys already. Robonuts. Robonuts. That robot that had those nuts. Sorry, I can't do it. Bottom of the list for me. Then it's going to be 3. So it goes. Wait. No, actually, bottom of the list is 4. I'm sorry.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, bottom of the list is 4, and then 2, and then 3, and then 1 is top of the list. I think we can agree on that. Yeah.
I'm a little torn because I agree with your list for the reasons for Revenge of the Fallen,
Right.
with Megan Fox and Shia LaBeouf, but also I do like 3 in terms of the story a little bit more than 2.
Yeah, I
So
think
I'll
the story
I'll
in
be
2
the
was crazy.
50-50 between the two of you
So
guys.
you're just going to be middle ground.
The fourth one is the worst.
And the first one's the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just
It's more
personal
personal preference.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Comic book film pundits.
Yeah. Oh, almost left you hanging there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well,
That's
that's gonna wrap it up. It's 2:30 in the morning, so we're gonna go. We're gonna get to bed and hopefully not cry ourselves to sleep over this movie. But before we go, Augustine, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Instagram at ZombieGuts15 down there, and on Twitter as well, ZombieGuts15. Hector.
You can find. I'm excited about this because actually I have something to. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/HeckTerminator, and you can find me on my Twitter. Hector is funny. Except that now after watching this movie, I'm not funny. I'm just fucking furious. Hector is so mad. I'm so upset.
And you can find me on all the social media at Adam Hlavik. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on the movie. Leave comment below. Leave comments. Discussion. Let's leave it open for discussion and let us know what you think. Yeah. Be sure to favorite and subscribe to our channel as well. And we'll be back on Monday with.
Can they check out some other videos? Can
Yeah.
they check out some other videos?
We have other two other videos right now. Check out the other stuff.
Our review of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trailer. And last week's episode of the Film Pundits,
Yeah.
and we'll be back on Monday. So until then, see you later.
Good night.